What is causing mice rain in eastern Australia? The current plague is being called one of the worst plagues in the decades and started being reported around in mid-March in Australia eastern states. The government of New South Wales in Australia had extended a support package of $50 million to farmers to deal with a devastating mouse plague that has affected farmers, community members, and residents. To control the plague, the government has now authorized the use of otherwise outlawed poison called bromadiolin. NSW farmers had called plague an economic and public health crisis and had initially demanded that the government pay 50% of the cost of beds. So, when did the plague begin? The current plague is being called one of the worst plagues in decades and started being reported around mid March in Australia's eastern states. Live Science reported in March as a result of the rampaging mice, some farmers lost entire grain harvest while hotels have had to close because they cannot keep the critters out of the room. In some places, residents of affected areas reported mice falling out from rooftop causing the mice rain. Life Science also reported that Steve Henry, who is researcher at Australia's National Science Agency called CSIRO, attributes the plague to unusually abundant grain harvest, which caused a surplus of mice earlier in the season. Add to this the fact that mice has a short breeding cycle. A pair of breeding mice can give birth to a new litter every 21 days or so and are not very choosy about food. The Health Department of Australia's Victoria State notes that rodents, which includes rats and mice, are the second most successful mammals on the planet after humans. How does a plague of this scale affect people? As per Victoria's Health Department, there are 2,200 species of rodents and Australia has more than 60 native rodent species and 3 introduced pest species. Rodents are capable of destroying food grains and can cause widespread damage to domestic households, commercial business, farms and manufacturers and livestock. Further, rodents can now not only gnaw through material but can also ruin supplies by excreting on them. Rodents can cause diseases such as leptospirosis and typhus fever. They can also carry fleas or ticks that can harm pets and humans. Rats and mice can stay in walls, ceilings, under cupboards or bathtubs, in rubbish heaps, wood piles, thick vegetation, and in holes under buildings. The Guardian reported that the mice have had their way to rural hospitals, biting patients. The local health district of NSW has also reported an increase in mouse-related diseases. How can plagues be controlled? Researchers carried out by Grain Researchers and Development Corporation, which is led by CSIRO, says that increased zinc phosphide in mouse beds will help farmers to battle the higher than average mouse numbers in eastern Australia. As a result of the researchers, the authorities have allowed makers to double the toxicity levels in mouse beds. Thank you.